Hello, today we're looking at hook statements, a way of engaging an audience from the first line of an essay or a speech. Now, while there are a number of types of hooks, be they captains or fishing or places to hang your coat, the only sort we're interested in today is the hook statement. That is another name for your attention getter. It comes in the form of an interesting fact, surprising statistic, fascinating quote, or amusing anecdote. It comes in the first line of an essay or a speech. Now wait, you say to me, why can't I use a question? Now it's true, a question could get the attention of your audience. It is matching up with attention getter, but they're incredibly overused. And if our goal is to engage our audience to continue to them to listen and read what we have to say, we really want to get them the most interested as we can. And if they've heard a lot of rhetorical questions, they're going to be bored from that first statement. Instead, let's look at a more effective way of using it. An effective introduction paragraph has your hook statement as your first sentence, your thesis, which strongly establishes your purpose, and the main points that support your thesis. So how does this look in reality? Let's give it a test. How would we match up a hook with this thesis statement? People should not be allowed to use GPS programs until they can read a map. Here's the first option. If you were giving a speech or a narrative paper, you could use a first-hand example. In 8th grade, I placed 3rd in the state of Alabama's Orienteering Bowl. From there, we could transition into how this bowl worked using a compass and a map, and then move into our thesis statement. Now, the hook is this one sentence, but we may have to put a transition between our hook and our thesis. Let's look at another possible example. Instead, let's use the statistics, something from the news. In 2012, Apple iOS devices moved from Google Maps. Only their new system wasn't ready, and many people, dependent upon their phones, were taken well out of their way. We could then again do a quick transition statement and then move into our thesis. There are other options for hooks, but let's look at a different thesis. Using computers in 4th grade classrooms increases how much students learn in 1 year. So there's our thesis. What hooks could we use? The first option we have is a surprising statistic. CNN reports the average 10-year-old can text 30 messages in 1 minute. They also say that only one of those out of 20 of his peers can type. Here's another option. A quote. You have died of dysentery. Oh, Oregon Trail, the computer game beloved by students of the 90s. Again, we can make a transition here between our introductory hook statements and into our thesis. As we finish up our essay or speech, we do need to come back to this. Returning to our hook is important. So in our conclusion, we need to refer back to our thesis statement, restate our main points, and also come back to our hook. Why? Well, this allows us to restate that interesting fact and gives more weight to everything we've said. We've reminded our audience of everything we've spoken about, and by returning to the very beginning, gives our audience a chance to remember, oh, how everything is linked between our thesis statement, main points, and even our interesting facts. If you have further questions, contact your teacher.